My name is Franziska, and I'm presenting my Matura thesis, Sappho Lost in Translation, on the translation and reception of queer poetry. Sappho was a female lyric poet in ancient Greece who lived on the Isle of Lesbos around 600 BC. She was known throughout ancient Greece for her poems about love, which were likely performed as songs. At a time when women had very little freedom or literacy, Sappho achieved remarkable fame with her poetry about love between women. Her poetry by now is more than 2,500 years old, and throughout this time, in many Western cultures, female homosexuality, but also female sexuality in general, was thought of as quite a taboo topic. What I wanted to investigate in my essay was whether this bias had any effect on the translation of Sappho's poetry, and whether we can see any kind of erasure of the explicitly queer themes of her poetry in these translations. What makes the translation of Sappho's poetry a lot harder is that, unfortunately, most of her poetry and almost all of her biography have been lost over time, so we encounter a lot of speculation and fictionalization. In some eras, she's portrayed as a prostitute. In other times, she's thought of as a school teacher. One enduring myth about her life is attributed to the Roman poet Ovid, who portrayed her as a woman who commits suicide after being abandoned by her male lover. These fictional versions of Sappho had a strong influence on what readers and translators thought of Sappho throughout different periods in time. What I found in my analysis was that especially the first fictional version of Sappho, created by the Roman poet Ovid, had a profound impact on the early English translations of her poetry. Understanding this effect is crucial to the scholarship surrounding Sappho and the translation of her poetry today, as it demonstrates the effect of individual but also societal preconceptions on the translation of queer poetry.